deck's gonna be about there. That's about 80 foot. And then it'll be a 25-foot deck, and then about 100-foot landing run out. So the gap's gonna be about 120 to 150 where I land at Monster Cup. I'm stoked. Finally get to use my truck ramp and go out and use it at Monster Cup, and I'm gonna be able to give people rides in the 2-seater. It's gonna be sweet. I think it's gonna be badass. So, and then Freestyle Motocross Best Whip will be right next to it because they're using a 120 this year. So they're gonna line up right next to each other. It's gonna be sick. Yeah, this is, we have a well over here. It's pretty cool. When I bought the property, I already had the well dug. So I just basically plugged into it, hooked a generator up to it, and it started pumping water, and I was like, that's perfect. So I went down and put some tanks up for my water truck, and this is free water from the well. Pretty sweet, you know? But surprised. You have to hold the choke. Pump water. So this is about 100 feet from here to the ramp. So that's, you know, if that jump, and then I think it's possible. So at Monster Cup, they're gonna give me about 100-foot run-in, turn, hit the jump. So it should be plenty. And then you're on pavement too, which you're getting wheel slip on this. I was gonna water this today. I wanna test my trucks today off this to make sure we're at the right distance and everything. But I need to water this, otherwise you're just getting wheel slip. Come Monster Cup, you ain't gonna get no wheel slip on blacktop, really. So you might send it too far. So here it's all soft dirt. But at least get you close. See where that cone is? That's 80 feet. So that's kind of where the deck's gonna start. Boom. It's gonna be a pretty decent gap in between. Like if the truck shut off or something, it would be bad. So this trailer weighs about 16,000 pounds. Brian Farrell built it, one of the dudes I used to ride freestyle with back in the day. The dude's a sick fabricator. I bought the trailer, he built the takeoff. This was just my vision that I'm like, dude, I built, like back in the day, we created the freestyle motocross ramps, ramp to ramps, all that. I'm like, let's do it in a race truck. So that's what we did here. And I wanted to eventually build a landing, but this year Monster Cup, they're using dirt. So I'm like, let's just do it to the dirt landing right next to the Best Whip. And they were cool with it. So stoked that I'm finally gonna get to, you know, carry through with my ideas. So it would be badass. But first I gotta get through MX of Nations the weekend before. And I wanted to hit Larocco's Leap. Like I ain't claiming it because I haven't been there yet, but it's definitely in the back of my mind. So when we get there, we'll see. But the landing's pretty peaked, and if you come up short, I think it could be really bad. I think it would be a backbreaker, you know? So I gotta like think that one through, you know? Maybe I sit on my knees or something, you know? Stand up in the truck. I would say the takeoff of the ramp's 13 foot tall. So you're gonna want the landing at least 15 foot tall, I would say. Like, problem is where I land, it's starting to go downhill. So we might not even be a step up. Like where I actually land, this is 100, that's 80, this is 100, that's 120. That's kind of where I'm gonna wanna land come the day of the event. So we got to basically practice hitting there. I wanted to hit there today and try to land down there, but it's downhill, so it's not a step up. You're actually going to be falling downhill, which could be deceiving because say Monster Cup's probably not going to be a step down, it's going to be a step up, I'd say. So you're going to land at 120 feet you're gonna be more up than you are down. When it drops down like that, it gives you more time to get to the distance. When it's a step up, you basically have to hit it harder to get the distance, because you're basically not dropping out of the sky as much. So we'll see. Like today I'll jump it, and I want to try to land down at 120 basically, like down there. It's all about the takeoff, it's all about like the blip on the takeoff, you know. That's at about 15. I don't know what to do with the face. Like if something happens to the truck and it shuts off and you go into the face, I'd probably almost just rather have them leave the face kind of loose so it's soft, not packed in. So if you do go into it, like there is some give. It'd be so gnarly. But at the end of the day, you're in a roller cage. You know, that's what I say. It'd probably break your collarbone, but it's definitely not like a bike shutting off on the 120 of the dirt bike and throwing it and jumping to your feet. The wind in Vegas is always windy. So hopefully they got the ramp set up, you know, at a tailwind or a headwind, not a crosswind. Crosswind sucks, and you start flying all funny. Race truck's 4,000 pounds, you can't control it. And basically, once it starts flying funky, you're just along for the ride. So, but anyway, let's go. I built this jump over in the hills. Let's go check it out. We'll see. I built this jump to mimic the Luraco's Leap, so I can go check it out and see what it looks like. Waiting on my mechanic to get here with my race truck. So he just prepped it, got it all ready. Motor went out. It got tuned up because the thing was running a little funky. And when you're jumping the ramps on blacktop, you want to make sure the motor's good. I feel a lot better now knowing that the motor went and got fixed. Because before that motor had sit for many years, and then we put it all together, and I'm like, it's too risky, man. Like, especially when you put people in your passenger seat, you're like, you don't want to take risks with that, you know. Basically, you don't want to hurt someone. Like I don't, at the end of the day. Because they just think, oh, we're going for a ride, everything's cool. Like, stuff can go wrong, you know. And I'm used to getting hurt. People aren't, that have never broken a bone. It's a big deal when you, like, go face first into the ground and never done it before at, like, 30, 40 years old. I don't think they want to do that. So, it's not good. This thing's been going for years. So here's the takeoff. So say the jump's about 35 degrees, and we're about 30. So Paul just got here, came from up north, and he's been working on the truck. So hopefully, maybe we'll put some new tires on it, and then we'll go out and hit the jumps. I want to go test it, make sure everything's good. I know. I guarantee we could get away with the one pad gone, but I think it's just smart.
Like I said, I just didn't want to change anything till you picked it, because I figured whatever I do would be wrong.
I'm gonna turn right there.
So Hayden DM'd everyone on social asking to hook him up, and a lot of trampoline companies just were like, oh no, we want this or that, and these guys hooked him up with the trampoline. So he just has to trade it some posts. It's the power of social media nowadays.
Sign there. Print your last name, you're all set.
Little practice before we go to MX of Nations and Monster Cup. Like to go fill out the ramps, kind of get some mile per hours down, distances, and a little more goes into it than you guys probably think. They're just winging it. Kind of have to get all this stuff prepared so you don't show up and just wad up your stuff. Stuff's a little too expensive to be taking big risks. We'll see what happens.
Battery should be on.
go. I mean, I think we got close to the mark, but you got to hit the ramp pretty hard. And we're probably going 35 miles per hour, maybe almost 40. So, like I said, it's going to be a pretty good jump hitting the thing going 40. So, just need to get the carburetor right so it's not. If I go and try to do the Larocco's Leap thing, that thing's going to. There's a jump before it, so it's going to go jump and go. You know, it's not even going to make it.
All day.
I think we're getting the truck more dialed in. The carburetor was off. Brand new carb, had to be tuned in. So we got it close now. It's definitely more responsive. When you land, it doesn't gargle as bad. So it's a little touchy with carburetors, different than fuel injection. So it's good off the ramp, which is what's important. You know, that's Monster Cup. I try to like do a quick like makeshift jump to kind of copy what I'll be trying to hit at Redbud. But I didn't have enough time, so I just carved it real quick. So the lip's real kicky. So if I hit it super fast, it's just gonna buck me super bad. So I gotta fix that. That'll be a fun jump though once I get it right, once I get the face right. It'll be a cool jump. Probably be good for dirt bikes right now actually, but a little more carb tune and then we'll go. I'll hit the ramp a few more times and then it should be good.